I'm ready to roll.
I love it, man. Steve, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you, sir, for taking a minute out today.
Absolutely.
So before we get into your work, I want to know this first and foremost. 5 years ago, this pandemic did so many things to change all of us and everything. How did you get through that time period, and how has it affected your work today?
Wow. At first, everybody freaked out, right? Everybody's freaking out. But God, whatever this, everything lined up to stars, people coming out of the woodwork. They, for the first time ever, we landscaping got some respect,
Yeah,
right? Because it's always been about the kitchen, the bathroom. Now people are forced to go outside, and it opened up a whole new world.
yeah,
And business boomed, right? Meaning where a lot of new faces showed up on the business. I mean, you couldn't get a guy to do any work, right? So the prices were going crazy. Materials were hard to get, but it really has opened my eyes, opened clients' eyes to the importance of being outdoors and what it has to do with your sense of freaking sanity, especially in this crazy world. I
yeah,
mean, huge. So it's basically an extension of the home.
yeah,
And I think people really grew to appreciate the outdoors and getting in touch with nature. And now in New York City on Friday, this place is empty.
yeah,
Everybody works from home still. It's no, that's over. Like nobody's going in 5 days a week anymore.
yeah.
Nowhere.
No.
So it's been great, actually.
I couldn't believe when 2020 happened because I've always wondered, like, where's everybody at? Like, why aren't people outside? Why aren't they enjoying their yards and their lives? And all of a sudden, everybody was outside, and everybody, I remember going to Home Depot like a month into the pandemic and you couldn't get into the parking lot. Everybody was getting ready to go.
Because nobody's had really time. Everybody's such rush, rush, rush. Now they have time to actually slow down, get outside, walk around. But it was kind of freaky time, as everybody knows.
Oh,
Like I went
man.
to New York City, like during the height of it, just to take a ride. I'm only like 25 minutes outside of Manhattan, and it was like a ghost town. It was crazy. You could drive through Times Square and like
Yeah.
nothing.
A dude was telling me that one time, I think it was in May of 2020, and he lived right by Times Square. And he was like, right now, there is no one out here. It's kind of rainy and drizzly. And I was like, that's Twilight Zone stuff, man.
Yeah,
That's
it was kind of like Twilight Zone, like nobody. I pulled a U-turn right in the middle of 42nd Street where, I mean, there was nobody, no cops, nothing.
that's insane.
So, yeah,
That's
man.
it's a crazy time.
Back to
So,
normal, though.
yeah, absolutely. We're back. So let me ask you this. As a cutting edge landscape designer, I want to know on a daily basis what you do. And to do that, I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds. It's career day. The kid in the back of the room is like, hey, what do you do for a living? How do you answer them?
Very simple. Have you ever been over to one of your friends' backyards and it's the house to go to when you go into the backyard and it has the trampoline, it has the pool, it has all the bells and whistles? I'm that guy. I build those backyards. To me, when I've been asked this before to a group of like elementary school kids, they seem to understand that, right?
Hmm.
That's what I do. And that seems to be very simple definition of what I do.
Yeah,
Like, you know, besides the parents and all that. It's really about the kids. It's about the family. I'm
right.
doing it for the kids. I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah. So, what did you want to be at 12 years old? What was your dream gig?
Wow. I knew that I didn't want to work for somebody. I had that feeling. I didn't want to work for somebody. I remember my dad was a construction worker in New York City and
Yeah.
back in the 70s, and the Bronx is burning and all that. It was terrible back then. He would get laid off a lot. Construction would be laid off. And I'd be like, what a crazy way to live. 1 week you work, 1 week you don't work. And I remember when he was laid off, I would go with him to do odd jobs because we had 5 kids, had to pay for the mortgage. And I saw what he did to just to hustle and to create income to feed the family, right? And I realized I realized that I don't want to go work for somebody else because I want to be able to live and die by the sword, right? If I'm going to go down, I'll go down swinging on my own. I don't need some boss to tell me, sorry, you're laid off, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it's been. I've been doing this 40 years. That's a long
Wow.
time.
Yeah. Did he encourage you to do different things?
No,
Okay.
what encouraged me to what? Do my own
Well,
business?
well, I mean, so my dad, he had a New York mentality and he was a car salesman. I remember I went to work with him. And whenever I would go and do that whole workday thing, all of his pals would be like, "Hey, do you want to be like your dad someday and sell cars and be a salesman?" And he'd always stop him and be like, "My son's not going to be a dummy like me. He's going to go to college. He's going to get a job." Like it always hurt me, but he wanted to set me up for something different. So I guess my question is, was there a part of him that knew that he was working for a boss and wanted you to be an entrepreneur?
No, he always would say, you should come join the union. You get good
I got you.
benefits. You got, yeah. I was like, this is getting up at 4:30 in the morning, driving to New York City when it's 10 degrees out.
Yeah,
But he always kind of, it's hardcore New York guy. I mean, it's just, ex-Marine guy. Just, there was no, everybody needs a little disappointment in life kind of thing. But I guess that shapes you.
yeah,
Um, it is what it is, right? I guess back in those days, parents really didn't know, so they did the best they could with what they knew.
yeah,
I don't know. There's no podcasting like this. There's no internet. They just kind of knew from their parents and they just carried it forward. It's
yeah.
a different world.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about some of the foundational elements that led you to be an entrepreneur, a landscape design expert. How did all of this kind of come together in your career trajectory?
Again, like when he was laid off, he would um, trim people's shrubs in the front of the yard, right?
Mhm.
Ran an ad in the penny saver, trim shrubs, $25, whatever. So he would take me along, and I would be the cleanup guy, right? They would cut the bushes and clean up, and then after that went on for a little while, I was the cutter. He would drop me off, leave, and come back to pick me up a few hours later, and he would collect all the money, and I'd get a piece of it. So and I was like, I don't know. It's just, I guess that's my early taste of really, I guess being the boss is okay because, but it has a whole nother set of problems. Listen, if it was easy, everybody would be in their own business. It's not. It's
Right.
very lonely. It's stressful. It's the whole gamut of that, right? So I just fell in love with landscaping and plants and creating. I think it becomes down to like, hey, some people paint, some people write music,
Yep.
some people sculpt. My backyard, your backyard is actually my canvas.
Yeah.
That's easy way to put it.
When is the first time you designed a backyard where you stood back and you thought, this is marvelous. This makes sense to me. Did you have a moment like that?
Yes, a lot of moments when they step back and when the client says, "Wow, I can't believe this is my backyard. I feel like I'm on vacation." Right?
Wow.
Because I build it and I move on. Like for them, it's more of the satisfaction of what we created for them. Again, I've been doing this so much, you don't really appreciate what you do for somebody else. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So who was your hero? Was it your dad?
I guess in a roundabout way, right?
Yeah.
Work ethic, never called in sick, no excuses. I would work for them in the city on my Christmas vacations when I was home from college. And I always remember that New York mentality. Well, your dad's from Brooklyn, like it was never, there was no excuses. It's not like I need a me day. Like I need what is it? A personal, what do they
Mental
call it?
health day. Yeah.
Mental health day.
Yeah.
Like he had 5 kids. He had to go to work sick
Yeah.
or whatever. So that mentality I tried to carry over into my landscape design business, and clients really appreciate that because everybody's busy. They want the job done on time, on budget, with no excuses. That's kind of how I run my business. Old school. I'm old school.
Yeah. So is there anybody at landscape designer that you emulated? Is there someone that you looked up to? How did you kind of get this overall template of what you wanted to do and how you wanted to design? Because you have a signature style. How did that come about?
Every job is different, right? So the key is listen to the client, developing what they want. But I remember when I got out of college, one of my first jobs was working for a high-end pool designer, very high-end, and he was from Italy. And he would take me along as his little minion on the jobs, and I would field measure. And I never forget how we interacted with the clients. Like he was an operator. He would bring the homemade Italian wine. He would bring them fresh tomatoes from the garden. Like he played up that Italian theme like I've never seen it. The accent would even be heavier,
Yeah.
right? So he kind of was client relations. So we'd like to call it client marketing, right?
Uh-huh.
Client relations marketing, where you really get to know the customer and you become part of them. And that's what we do even nowadays. So they refer you to other clients, and you do their kids' homes, and it's more about relationships than anything.
Yeah. So let's say you got approached by a reality TV show or a TV show that wanted to profile what you do, and you had to pick, say, 5 to 10 examples of your best work.
You got good questions, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are
What
good.
what would be the top of the list? What would you show them?
First one thing comes to my mind is a swimming pool we built a few years ago on top of a mountain. Four of the pool companies said it can't be done. I got it done. The client did not know how to swim.
Wow.
40-year-old man, Orthodox Jewish guy, didn't know how to swim. And by the end of the summer, he said, Steve, come over. Dove wants to show you something. I go over there. It brought tears to my eyes, man. The guy swam and back and forth. Never knew how to swim,
Wow.
you know. And she said it was the best investment we ever did. That's nice to hear with a client when
Yeah.
they drop $500,000 and they tell you it's the best money they ever spent. Usually
Yeah.
it's the opposite, right?
Right. Yeah. Wow. So let me ask you this. If you can meet an entrepreneur that's alive on the planet right now, or an entrepreneur that has existed in the American lexicon, and you could talk to them and see how they work, who do you admire? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
So again, that question gets asked a lot, and I was appeared with Grant Cardone. Some people love him, some people hate him. And my theory was he enticed me to write the book, right? So we wrote a book, best-selling book. That helped, taught me that it's going to take more effort than not. So I think you take the best from each people and you make your own decisions, right?
Yeah.
So you have Grant, I mean, everybody online too. You got the Tony Robbins, you have, those online things. But I think I have a lot of real life in-person business people that I look up to that run multi-million-dollar companies. And I always say, how do you not let it, the frustration level for me is also, I have to keep, it's really your mindset. It's crazy how the mind works.
Right.
Like if you don't believe you can be a $10 million company, that's it. You can't be.
Yeah.
Like growing up, shut the lights, can't afford that. I mean, man, and I didn't realize how much it affected me growing up, but it does.
Yeah.
Can't go on that trip. I mean, it's crazy, and then it's embedded in you in the subconscious mind early on. I didn't learn this till I was 60, right? That you have to reprogram your paradigm and shift all that.
Hmm.
It's crazy, right? How
Yeah.
it's so infected on your at an early age.
Yeah. So looking through your work, you clearly have evolved throughout over the years. You haven't stayed static. You've stayed active. How do you evolve? Is that a conscious thing every day for you to be like, I need to stay on top of what's going on. I want to be better each and every time. What is that motivator for you every day to do that?
Yeah, so I think I enjoy the hunt, right? I enjoy the hunt. Listen, as I said, 65, I could be retired, but I'm not a golfer. I enjoy the hunt. I think it comes down to how much you can push yourself as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like where's the ceiling? I don't know where the ceiling is. You just keep going and learning new trick. I mean, I'm on Instagram, right? I do Insta. I don't know what I'm doing. I just hit the buttons and whatever. I send it to the people and they cut it up and send it out. I was told, hey, that's what you have to do to stay current and relevant. So that's what I do,
Yeah.
right? I try to learn the computer. I try to learn. There's people in my industry that don't even use computers. Old
Right.
school. Like you have to stay on top of everything. You got to keep the
Absolutely.
edge. You got to keep your edge sharp.
Yeah. So, how have you, throughout your business career, how do you deal with balance between being a family guy, having a business that's successful? What is your mentality on? Do you try to keep it equal? How do you do that?
There is no balance.
Right.
It's like there's no balance. You're your own boss. You're always thinking about it. You don't shut it off. It's always on. It's always on. Um, but I made time. Like I coached the kids soccer. I coached the little league. I went to all their games. Like I didn't want to be that freaking dad who said, "Oh, I spent too much time at the office and the kids are growing up." I didn't want to be that guy, and thank God I was not that guy, right?
Yeah.
So I was there for them the whole time. Now they're growing up and all, but still, you didn't want to. I try to tell people all the time, like, don't be that guy. Like, there'll be another job coming, but spend time with your kids because they grow up fast,
Yeah. It's
and
quick.
then the balance is like, okay, so you got a soccer game on Saturday with the kids, you're gonna have to work late on Friday night so you can be there. You just kind of move things around to make it work.
Yeah. So, as an entrepreneur, you have to risk things. There's a certain amount of risk that goes into it. What's the biggest risk that you've taken in your career?
every day is a risk, right? One of the biggest risks I took was doing a rooftop garden, 34 stories up in Manhattan, right? It's a risk. I mean, got $1 million on the line. You
Yeah.
have to have confidence in yourself, right? I think you have to believe in yourself to be able to execute those jobs. Every day is a risk when you're unknown. You got payroll, you got every day's a risk.
Yeah. What's the best advice that your dad ever gave you?
Get it done, no excuses. I don't know what else to say. Like
Yeah.
your word is your bond. Like you just gotta, like if you say you're going to do something, you have to do what you say you're going to do, period.
Yeah.
Especially in the residential, high-end residential market, they all talk to each other. They all refer each other, and bad news travels very fast, right? So it's kind of like an art form, but you can't be that stuffy artist. You got to get the job done on time, on budget. And I think that's one of the biggest things I try to live on is no excuses.
Yeah.
And, again, looking at your podcast, you have so many different. I'm honored to be here because you have psychiatrists, you have psychologists, performance coaches. Like I'm just the regular guy.
Right, but you're part of that lexicon of success. And
But again, I don't give what I'm saying, but part of it's in the mental. Like I don't give myself enough credit.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like we're hard on ourselves, the
yeah,
worst, right? But yeah,
absolutely.
I saw Doc Gooden on your roster. I'm like, I mean, I'm in the same podcast as Doc Gooden. I mean, like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It's fun though, man. It's like it's celebrating the beauty and the diversity of so many people that are like the media makes us think that everything's so black and white, but there's all this gray area. We have families, we have desires, we have dreams. We're all going towards kind of the same kinds of things.
Same thing.
Yeah. You
It's
know?
all the same. And I think this podcasting has opened up a whole. I mean, you've met 2,000 episodes. That means you met 2,000 people
Yeah.
more. And then even with my little experience, I may have talked to guys from Australia. It's pretty cool how you can develop that relationship as opposed to just a blank email when you talk face to face.
Yep.
It's so cool.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's one of the most therapeutically wonderful realms podcasting is. There's so much shared common ground, and it's so good to because we got pigeonholed when we grew up. We had three channels. We got very
Yeah.
filtered information. We didn't get this wide panorama of human beings doing all kinds of things. I mean, there could be people that listen to this that have no idea about landscape design, and somebody's like, I kind of do that already. Let me see what he's doing. And it could just launch 1,000 dreams in their minds. You
Yeah,
know?
I guess that's what it's about giving it back and then giving back, right? I mean, you've done 2,000
Yeah.
podcasts. Like, that's crazy. You should pat yourself on the back because I know just showing up here is a lot of work, right? I got to schedule. I had to reschedule this morning, and you have to edit, you have to pose. Like, it's a lot of work for you. How many do you do a week?
It's up there. I mean, it's hard to put my finger on, but it's all a labor of love. You know, you get to that point where it's like it just when you love what you do, it just makes sense.
You can do this 24/7,
Yeah,
probably, right? Yeah,
yeah, you could do it all the time.
yeah. It's not work for you. It's just what you do.
It's love. Yeah, yeah. It's something I love to do. You know, the one thing that you had mentioned about you got to be really careful because people talk. Has your business grown in an organic way with word of mouth? What's been the best way for you to get clientele and to spread it?
So we've done the Facebook ads, we've done the TV ads, we've done I mean, man, I've tried, I'm the guy, I'm the poster child I've done it all.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to, I would rather spend $300 giving an old client a plant that died that I wasn't supposed to replace because I'm only supposed to give a year warranty. But I find that if I replace that $300 plant, it's 10 times better than a $300 Facebook ad.
Totally.
Guarantee they're going to tell somebody about it.
Hmm.
Nobody really, by the way, nobody really cared. Oh, he did a beautiful job. It looks great. But there was a couple of plants that died that he was supposed to replace that he didn't do it. It's done.
Yeah.
It's tanked.
Hmm.
So warranty work reputation is everything.
Yeah. So let me pose this to you. Let's say you get into a time machine and go back in time and you find that version of you that was picking up all the shrubbery that your dad was cutting. And your thoughts are thinking about landscape design. And you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've led, the wisdom you've gained along the way. What advice would you give
Oh,
that
man,
young?
you good questions.
Thank you.
I know, really. Like, first thing I would do is learn. how to delegate.
Yeah.
Like learn how to don't be the guy that digs the holes.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that you know how to dig the holes, but don't be the guy that digs the holes, right? I mean, that's part of the art form. But I think as you evolve and all, people will pay me to think. They don't pay me to put in a patio.
Yeah.
Like, don't call me for a patio. Call me to build a legacy in your backyard to create memories. That's how the mindset is shifted because you can get anybody to dig a hole. It's where do you dig that hole and the design of it is and how to run a business and cash flow and all that. Man, I wish I would have learned that early on.
Yeah.
I mean, the running of a business, not just doing the business.
Yeah. Well,
That's what
there's
I would have learned my early self.
but there's this wide gap between reality and dream because you go in as an entrepreneur dreaming about the way it's going to work, and then there's this reality of what it's like, and there's the space in between those.
Yeah, you mean in 2008 when I had two kids in a car seat and they came and repossessed the car and they took the car seats out? Yeah, that's real. That happened.
Yeah.
You know, they knocked on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, "Sorry, Mr. Griggs, we have to repossess your cars. You haven't paid and whatever." I mean, there's tough times, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's not. But you have to be able to just count on yourself, man. Count on yourself that you can pull this off and you could and always have a good partner. My wife always knew that I was going to get it done and make it happen, right? You can't be wishy-washy. You
Yeah.
can't say I think I can do it and maybe I do. You have to be certain in yourself that absolutely 100% I can get the job done and I have you swimming by July 4th or whatever the situation is.
So let's say you walk into a room of all of your clients, everybody that knows you as a businessman, and you could walk to the a podium in front of that room and tell them a quintessentially cool New York story, one of the best shows you saw, a parade you saw, a sporting event. I want a really good New York story.
What do you mean a good New York
Just
story?
like, because I'm in Kansas City and I think about New York and it's like the capital of the world. There's so much good. Like, I would love to go to the Village Vanguard and catch the Cats play there. I would love to, like, to see just like a Macy's Day parade or like Billy Joel and Madison Square Garden, like a
Oh,
quintessential New York moment,
I would
story.
have to say 1978 Led Zeppelin at the Garden.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
people are like, wow, like, yeah, man, it was like we were 18 and yeah, you can, yeah, it was like, that's a New York moment,
that's
right?
it.
Billy Joel and Elton John at Yankee Stadium together. They played
Yeah.
like those are just like New York. Is that we talking about just New York stuff? Like it's just New York.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm outside of New York City, so you
Yeah.
have the city, and then I'm 30 miles north in the suburbs where there's homes with
Yeah.
grasses, and most people work in Manhattan,
Sure.
and they live in the suburbs, right? So that's kind of like that's the real New York. When I went to school in Mississippi, I remember the girls asked me, "Do you have grass where you live?" Like they thought that New York is like all concrete.
All
Well, it
right.
is the concrete jungle, but that's all you see. Like you were saying earlier, the media and they just show this bad
Mhm.
place, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah. So those are pretty good. I related to the concert because I know you're in the music,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
No, I love it.
so I had to tie that to the music.
Dude, my brain went right there. I could just see Paige. I could see
Yeah.
those cats. Like you just see it,
Uh, and
just
then
the hair, just the
and
whole
then the
thing.
Grateful Dead we saw. I mean, just
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
it's like,
So of this life that you've led, you're successful. You've obviously gone through hardship, through all this evolution. What are you ultimately the proudest of?
I mean, I got the two kids. Was able to put them through school with no college debt. I had college debt just from growing up. Um, I don't know, just being a regular guy. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have the house, I have
yeah,
the three dogs, I have the mortgage, I have a white fence. That's kind of what. I guess it could be worse, but I guess it could have gone a lot worse, but it's cool, right? Like
yeah,
I'm very grateful for what I have. Good
absolutely.
wife, 28 years, like everything is, no drama, everything is cool.
Yeah, that's it. So at the end of the day, Steve, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, clients, everyone that works for you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm the guy that gets the job done. I mean, I get it done. If I say I'm going to do something, I get it done, and my word is my bond. That's really at the end of the day. What else do you have?
Yeah.
Remember the Scarface movie?
Oh yeah.
When he says, "All I have is my thing." That's it. Like, what else
Yeah.
is there, right?
Yeah, that's it. So before we got on, we were talking about baseball a little bit, and you're a Yankees fan. If you could get into a time machine and go back and see one Yankees game, where are you going?
Oh, we're going playoffs with Jeter and O'Neal and Posada and all those
Yeah,
guys. At one of those, I think it was game 6 or 7. Like there was a couple of back in those 96 to 2000 when they had a
yeah,
really good run. Those are the Yankees we grew up with. Not as much anymore. I don't really follow it, but those were the
yeah.
96 when they played the Mets in the World Series. What year
Yeah.
was that?
That was 2000. I won, I think, because that was the year of the towers of 9/11.
Yes.
They played. That was the Subway Series.
Yes. That was crazy time.
Man, and the fact that New York got in there after all that happened was
And I
crazy.
remember that. And Giuliani, and they had the caps on. The Mets
Yeah,
had the firemen, and the other guys had the police. Yeah, it was a pretty surreal time, which um, it does put people together. Like it was
yeah,
like the city came together. Same with COVID, they all came together.
yeah.
I think everybody just needs to chill out a little bit.
I
Like
know, man.
like what are they bored? What do they have too much free time on their hands? Like who has like really?
I know, I know.
You
For
know
all
what
the
I'm
drama,
talking about,
I
right?
do
Like
totally. I get it. I totally get
I
it.
just like can't we all just get along?
Yeah, what are we
Like,
doing here? If anyone wants to reach out, they want to hire you, they got questions, where do they go?
SteveGriggsDesign.com or at Steve Griggs Design on Instagram. Do the DM. I'm hip with the DM or whatever you got
Right
to
on.
call it. And
You're
then
in.
good
You're
stuff,
in.
bro. Good. Nice talking to you, Joe.
Steve, what a pleasure, man. I'm so glad we arced into our worlds. Best of luck. I appreciate it, man.
Keep up the good work.
You too, man. Cheers.
Peace out.
Take care.
Looking to get new clients to your business through cold calling or email marketing? At Agency Y, they envision a world in which small and big companies have equal chances to win new customers in the market. Their purpose is to bring parity and reduce the gap between large and small firms with the help of their cold calling and cold email marketing services. Use the code Joe Dimino 10 at www.agencyyy.org/coldcallingjoe.php or www.agencyyy.org/email marketingjoe.php to get 10% off your first order. This is Joe Dimino of Neon Jazz and Famous Interviews, and I stand behind Agency Y to meet your business dreams.